We're pleased to report that there was not, I repeat, not an accident on the L&W Railroad this week.
After 4 opening races with up and down results for the field, including 4 different winners, the 5th verse is the same as the first. For 3 successive weeks, every bit the rookie. But now, those troubled rides have been bookended by 2 Jet wire-to-wire wins. Lawrence is our first 2-time winner and just 1 point out of the championship lead. And the top 3 are separated by only 2 points in the still unfolding season. Chase Sexton has regained the red plate by the slimmest of margins with a steady second-place ride. After 2 rounds atop the standings, Sexton's teammate, Aaron Plessinger, had that very red plate slip from his grasp, but is only 2 points back of Sexton, after finishing in 6th place in Detroit. AP was left at the gate and completed the first lap in 14th place before charging back to 6th by the time the checkers flew. Joining Jet and Chase on the box was Kenny Roczen, arguably the fastest rider of the first 5 races, with the least to show for it. Kenny's podium was the second third-place finish of his season. Despite posting a 6th and then an 11th in the opening 2 rounds, Cooper Webb clawed his way from a poor start and running 12th on the first lap, all the way back to a 4th-place finish. It now sits only 4 points behind AP and only 6 behind Chase. A bit further back in the standings are Jason Anderson in 5th and Eli Tomac in 6th, and both had their issues in Detroit. Anderson struggled, in particular, with one rhythm, and lost several positions when mistiming jumps in the section. After running towards the front early, Anderson dropped as low as 13th before rebounding for a 5th-place finish. As to Tomac, watching ET drop position after position from a 3rd-place start to out of the top 10 was somewhat surreal. Did he do fence work or some shit last week? Or is he just not comfortable yet, despite his Triple Crown wire-to-wire win just a week previous? Conjecture runs rampant. Arm pump, perhaps? Or maybe shock shim failures? Or maybe, even, the beginning of the end for his storied career. In any event, after each Anderson and Tomac managed a single race win at last week's Triple, neither had a good night in Detroit. Are these signs of the changing of the guard so many have predicted? Or will the roller coaster ride continue? Arizona has hosted 5 races in Tempe, 17 in Phoenix, and 7 in Glendale. This Saturday will mark the 30th race held in the Arizona market, and the 8th for Glendale State Farm Stadium. The series first visited Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. Built on the campus of Arizona State University in 1958, the facility had been substantially renovated in 1976, some 10 years before a Supercross would be held, raising the seating capacity from a mere 30,000 to nearly double that. A year later, an added upper tier was completed to bring seating to just over 70,000. Sun Devil was once the longtime host of college football's Fiesta Bowl and was home to the National Football League's Arizona Cardinals from 1988 through 2005, before the Glendale Stadium was constructed. 17 Supercross rounds were held from 1999 through 2015 at Chase Field in Phoenix, a retractable roof stadium built during a wave of new baseball-only parks in the 1990s. Although nearly all of those parks were open air, it was taken for granted that a dome stadium was a must for a major league team to be viable in the Phoenix area. Chase Field opened in 1998, the year the Arizona Diamondbacks debuted as an expansion team. State Farm Stadium in Glendale became the home of the Arizona Supercross in 2016. and has only missed one season since. The stadium opened as Cardinal Stadium. It would be built as the University of Phoenix Stadium soon thereafter, and for the next 20 years before State Farm acquired the licensing rights in 2018. The stadium features an innovative roll-in field, allowing the natural grass playing surface to grow under sunlight. But enough of this stick and ball nonsense. The first Supercross race, held in Arizona, was on May 10, 1986, in Sun Devil Stadium, with Honda's Rick Johnson taking the win. Sundale Stadium hosted 4 more races through 1998 before the series moved to Chase Field in Phoenix. When the series venue first shifted Arizona locations, it was in 1999, which means, predictably enough for the era, Jeremy McGrath would become the first Supercross winner at Chase Field. The winningest rider in Arizona Supercross history is Eli Tomac, who has won in the Grand Canyon State a total of 5 times. His first Supercross win ever in any stadium came at the venue in 2015. Tomac posted back-to-back wins in 17 and 18, plus 2022 and 23. Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart are tied for second with 4 each. RC in 01, 02, 05, and 06, Stewart in 07, 08, 09, and 2011. The 2020 Glendale Triple Crown had Ken Roczen pulling the first ever sweep of all 3 races, his second Arizona win. Tomac won in 2022 with a 113 score, and at last year's event again with 121 scores. This was the race where he overtook James Stewart as the second most winningest Supercross racer ever, his 51st career win. Sexton and Barcia joined Tomac on the podium. And as a side note, Jet won the 250 class that night. Arizona Supercross winners, overall, are 14 out of 29, just under 50%, and eventually winning the 450 class title. So, as we move on to Glendale, is the old guard on the ropes. Throughout his career, we have seen Tomac have several inexplicable races where he had lost the pace, but never so many in succession. His 2 second-place finishes in San Francisco and in the second Anaheim are overshadowed by 9th, 10th place results at the other 3 rounds. Now, already 16 points back, a fourth of the way into the season, can Tomac return to his winning ways in Arizona? It's semi-early, but no racer in today's field can afford to spot handfuls of points at a time to riders the likes of Lawrence and Sexton without falling completely out of the championship chase. There is no questioning Eli's status as one of the top racers our sport has ever seen. But to come back from a significant injury at this late juncture in his career and also match the pace Lawrence and Sexton are setting might just be too much to ask. Tomac's longtime rival, Ken Roczen, another previous winner in the Grand Canyon State, also needs to right the ship, and soon. Roczen logged the fastest laps of the night in Detroit, and had he been able to clear Sexton earlier in the race, might have had the speed to chase down Lawrence. But, even worse than Tomac, Roczen is already 21 points in arrears. Anderson's Detroit outing was nearly as confusing as Tomac's. He put on a show, racing with Jet in the heat, and gated well in the main, and eventually finished 5th. But also had those laps where he floundered and was repeatedly passed. This has since been attributed to sickness. For now, we'll go with that. But Jason is also on the precipice of falling hopelessly far behind in the points race. Or maybe not. We, of course, saw Chase Sexton throw away several wins last season. He hasn't lost the front end of the KTM yet, But as he finds his former pace, will he also avoid the random crashes he's become known for? And for all the hype over Lawrence, we've already seen him crash out of the lead in more than one race in this season alone. Anything is possible. However, the disparity in results we've seen through the first 5 rounds is unlikely to continue. In this, as in any other season, the contenders for the crown will slowly dwindle as attrition takes its course. As stated earlier, nearly 50% of the time, the winner of the Arizona Supercross round goes on to capture the title. The pointy end will get a little sharper in Glendale. And hey, if you like this video, please like this video. Maybe we'll tap the subscribe button. Leave a comment if you know how to type. Meanwhile, thanks for watching this.